So what if I told you that the reason that you feel flat, unfocused, and stuck in your body isn't laziness, low motivation, or age? It's hormonal dysfunction. And you won't fix it with a gym membership or another podcast. Today, I'm breaking down my personal lab results, what they revealed, and how they correlate, and what it means for you as a man. So let's get into it. So these aren't your average tests. This is a functional diagnostic panel built to assess your adrenal resilience and sex hormone output. In other words, the operating system of your body. It's going to check your cortisol rhythm, DHEA, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone, secretory IgA, that's your gut's first line of defense, your melatonin and the circadian stability, and the crucial progesterone to estrogen ratio, how men balance estrogen in the real world. So most men never run this test, and that's why most men never fix the root problem. So I just did a whole breakdown of this test in my last video. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overlay on what my interpretation was, and I'm going to walk through my data. Okay, so my cortisol was at 6.2, which is critically low. My DHEA was 3.02, which is below optimal. Cortisol to DHEA ratio was 2:1, which is unstable. My testosterone was 533, was normal, but misleading due to my high estradiol, which was 7.7, my high progesterone, which is 574.2, which is extremely high, and my progesterone to estrogen ratio was 74.6:1. That's way out of whack. My melatonin during the day was 1.0, which was expected, and my secretory IgA was 615.9, which was critically elevated, so showing some kind of infection or immune system response. So if you want to see the whole breakdown, check out that last video, and then you'll kind of get a better idea on what all those mean. But I kind of wanted to get it broken down a little bit, or do a little bit of a recap to fill in what this video is about. So basically, my body's been under fire for years. I'm not producing enough cortisol or DHEA to meet the demands of daily life. My testosterone is decent, but it's blocked by estrogen and excess progesterone, so I'm not utilizing it properly. And my immune system is overdrive, and that's why I feel the way I do. So this is where the new test that I'm doing is the next test, not the new test, I've already done it, the Metabolic Wellness Profile, this is where that comes in. This test doesn't measure my hormones, it measures the fallout. So metabolic destruction caused by the hormonal dysfunction that we saw in the Stress and Hormone Panel. So right here, as you can see, my Indican is 77.06, which is low. The results, it sounds fine, but it's not. It means that my digestive system is suppressed. Protein isn't being fermented or broken down efficiently. And then that's matching my high secretory IgA from the Stress and Hormone Panel. My immune system is basically attacking my gut lining, so my digestion shuts down. My tryptophan absorption impaired. My muscle protein synthesis stalled. My mood regulation is blunted. The gut isn't thriving. It's basically in lockdown. Now we're going to move on to the total bile acids, which is 14.1, showing high. This marker reflects liver and gallbladder stress. It's high, which means that bile is backing up and my liver isn't clearing waste efficiently. Why? It's probably because my estrogen is high and that needs to be detoxed. My progesterone is overloaded, and that's needs liver processing. Cortisol is flat. The liver is understimulated. So the Stress and Hormone Panel is showing me why, and the Metabolic Wellness Profile is showing what it's actually doing to me. Hormones are backed up, toxins recirculate, and the system basically chokes in its own waste. Now, here is another one, the 8-OHDG, okay? We're at 12.48. This is showing moderate oxidative stress. This one hits deep. The 8-OHDG is a marker of cellular DNA damage, okay? The mitochondria is under stress. recovery systems are overloaded. So this confirms that I'm basically in a burnout pattern. So not just low energy, but actual oxidative damage. Okay, my high estrogen and low DHEA plus the liver congestion is giving me cellular fire, DNA breaks, accelerated aging. Look at all my gray hairs. This is where the disease begins if I don't correct course. So I got to make sure I'm getting this taken care of. Otherwise, my body could start to shut down. So basically, with my adrenals, the stress and hormone panel showed dysfunction, cortisol and DHEA collapse. And the consequences that the metabolic wellness profile are showing is liver stagnation and poor detox. With the sex hormones, the stress and hormone panel showed the dysfunction, estrogen and progesterone imbalance, which the metabolic wellness profile, the consequence of that is showing the hormone recycling, fat gain, and low drive. Now in my gut immunity, my stress and hormone panel was showing a firestorm of SIGA, right? The secretory IgA, my immune system. And then what the metabolic wellness profile is showing, the consequence of that is the protein fermentation and suppression. Okay. And then my cellular output, the stress and hormone panel was showing normal testosterone, but blocked due to, could be the estrogen, progesterone, but the consequence from that I'm being shown from the metabolic wellness profile is oxidative damage, poor mitochondrial fire. So basically, I'm not broken yet, but my system is. And this is what a lot of high-performing men miss. They think it's just low testosterone, but really it's not. You could take all the testosterone injections you want, but if your body's not utilizing it properly, it's a waste. So you need to be able to fix your systems in order to utilize the excess testosterone that you're getting from either TRT or whatever natural boosts you're doing. So basically it's a multi-system failure. It's not just low testosterone and not just aging. It's caused by years of silent internal chaos. And as a high-performing man, we like to think that we can just override everything and work our way through things. And we don't need to sleep. We just need to work. That's it. Everything else goes by the wayside. And that's why we kind of start to see this multi-system failure and that internal metabolic chaos. So this is why I built the Alpha protocol. We don't just give you supplements or walk you through a diet plan, right? We walk you through a strategic rebuild across 3 phases. Okay, so we want to work on the relief phase, which is calming the fire. We want to stabilize the circadian rhythm, rebuild DHEA and lower estrogen load. And then we get into the corrective phase, which is restoring testosterone balance, correcting gut immune dysfunction, and unclogging the liver. And then the 3rd phase is the resilience phase. We want to rewire your habits, recover mitochondrial power, and then lock into long-term hormonal dominance. Okay. We do this through data-driven diagnostics, through these panels that we're doing, structured training, and challenges. We've created these challenges to help motivate you, to get you through certain stressors. And then we've also created this community where we can talk about the struggles that we're having and, cheer each other on and make sure we can work together as a team. Basically, this isn't just a program, it's a mission. You don't fix this with motivation. You don't fix this with hustle. You fix this with structure, strategy, and purpose. Okay, so a lot of us, like I said, we don't, we try and just work our way through everything. No sleep, just work, skipping meals, all that kind of stuff, fad diets. And, it just doesn't work over time. We start to break down, and then we need to go back and we need to fix it with that structure, with that strategy, and with that purpose. So below, I'm going to provide a link to my Facebook group. We're going to be, as we grow this, we're going to be moving into like a school community, and then we can all work together and help each other rebuild our systems and ourselves. So if you like this content and you want to hear more, like and subscribe. I'm going to be trying to post as much as I can, and then I'm going to be posting a lot of other further information on Instagram and Facebook. So make sure you give me a like and a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube.